Yo, guys, welcome back to episode 6 of the Touchliner podcast. Welcome to the first episode where we have a guest, BMJC. He's in the building.
No, it's just Ben. It's just Ben. we don't call me that anymore. It's just Ben now, man. It's just Ben.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk to my two best friends in the whole wide world. I'm excited to talk about football and football only. And I'm just excited to get into it. I'm excited to learn from these two extremely knowledgeable individuals. And if you didn't already know, these guys know everything about football. So if you're watching this podcast now, respect their views, all right? Because they know a lot. I don't know anything though. So I'm just like a casual.
Alright, so for context, people, I one day called Ben a casual fan, and to this day, I don't think that he's moved on from that point. So maybe that's why you just heard what you just heard. But yeah, anyways, welcome back, everyone. We have a few things to discuss today. I think we're gonna keep it mainly around the Premier League. Obviously, we're gonna do our thing and go around the other leagues, talk about this area. And we're gonna introduce a new segment today as well, so that's gonna be very interesting. But yeah. Let's kick it off with how we always kick it off. Let's talk about Liverpool.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
There's a lot to unpack here. So where do we begin?
I'll start.
59 seconds. Let's start with the first 59 seconds. How
Bro,
about that?
disaster.
Where
calamity
what
defending.
was the back line doing? What was Trent doing?
Trent.
What was everyone
It
doing?
surprises me that he's not been benched yet, to be honest, after I saw
He got
that.
taken off very early on. He was taken
Yeah.
off at halftime. Was
I'm
Right
it
at
surprised he
halftime?
started, though. That's the thing.
No, not
I'm
halftime.
surprised he started.
Yeah, later on he got taken off because later on he was at fault for Saka's goal, his first goal. Did you see?
Oh yeah, that was horrific positioning.
Like in FIFA when you keep running and you forget to change player, he kept running. It's like,
That's
what
the
are you
second
doing?
time. That's the second time he's done something like this. Where like there was another time where he just stopped dead in his tracks. I don't remember when it was, but it's getting harder and harder to defend the guy. Whatever club says about the tactics and the press, and there was no press. He was there. He was there. He was not high up and couldn't track
At
back.
the
He
end of
was
the
there
day,
to
man,
stand a
like
chance.
Klopp is the king of excuses. Like no matter how good he is as a tactician and as a manager, he always finds a way to bring up an excuse for why his like players may not be playing to their best of his ability. Didn't he say something like, "Oh yeah, like it was they watered the grass today," or something like that? They made the ball slip more.
He's made
Something
excuses
ridiculous like
before. He
that.
blamed a lot on a witch before. I don't know how he did that, but he did.
Oh my god.
He's an
Um,
embarrassment. But that was a good win for Arsenal. They continue their title charge. The wheels are gonna fall off the wagon very soon. I'm
oh,
still
you know
not
what,
convinced.
Josh?
I'm still not
Please
convinced.
excuse me for 1 second. Josh, you have your first hater. I need to read this message. That's why I'm on my phone, people.
He did it.
I'm just
He did
I've
it.
been hating Josh for at least 8 years now. So this guy thinks he's OG.
Okay.
He's not. I've been before him.
Yo, and I was listening to your soccer pod and the Arsenal section. Your friend is so biased. This guy can't give Arsenal an inch of credit. It's the United Arsenal rivalry.
So,
I
okay,
will
wait.
butt in.
It
I
stops.
will butt in on.
What are you gonna say? I think you're gonna say what I'm gonna say.
I will say.
Oh,
I
he
will
said
say two
soccer,
things.
so it's invalid. Is that what you're gonna say?
No. I will say two things.
Sorry,
Right.
I'm just setting up my
I have
lighting again, guys.
noticed.
My lighting was my phone. Say that again.
Okay, it's fine. I have noticed that Arsenal fans, in particular, seem to be extremely delusional. That's not a generalization. Well, it is a generalization, but I'm just saying. Every Arsenal fan I've ever met is, very just like adamant that they're going to perform well each season, right? Do you remember, Josh? There used to be a meme that went around online where Arsenal, it was like the circle of life meme. Arsenal would start well and then they'd fall off halfway through. And it
Yeah.
was Wenger out. And then that is literally the same thing. They're starting off well again. And then December's going to come round and they're going to drop points. And people are going to be like, oh, Arteta out, Arteta out. And then the same cycle continues. Like, it's going to happen. Mark my words.
I agree.
So
I agree with that.
there's a difference that I see here. Okay, I I took a lot from the Arsenal Liverpool game. First of all, let me just say, first and foremost, that was one of the most entertaining games of football that I've seen in a very long time. I loved every second of it. I loved how VAR was not ruining the flow of the game. It was just going, and it was attack after attack, and both teams were firing. It was amazing. I took a few things, actually from both sides. Let me start with Liverpool, and then I'll go to Arsenal and counter your points. But Liverpool, their issue this season was really shown in yeah, last night's game, which was that they shown that they can play good football. Their issue is that their good football comes in increments. Their high press comes in increments. Their individual brilliance comes in increments, and their back line just isn't solid enough at the moment. Van Dijk can't keep carrying the back line. In fact, he's not having the greatest of seasons himself. Um, so there are a few issues there that need to be really seriously looked at. One thing I'll say is, and it might be early on to say this, but it's a pattern that I've recognized, and some of the biggest managers in the world are guilty of this. But some managers dominate for the longest time, and when their tactics start to get found out, they don't change them. And the biggest victim of this is Mourinho. You
Mm.
know, his park the bus routine started to get beat in the Premier League, and he just refused to switch it up. He refused to change it. Refused to try something new, and it ran him out of the Premier League. And now he's with Roma. Granted, he's doing great with
I
Roma,
was
but
gonna say, do you not think it suits the Italian league a bit more, his style?
Yeah.
it does because the Italian league is a lot more tactically inclined, and the back line, parking the bus, and everything. It works a bit better,
Mm.
especially when Mourinho has won the players over in Roma. So we can move on to Roma in a bit because I do have something to say about Roma. But yeah, I think Liverpool need to really rethink what's happening there. And I'm really not a fan of superstitions. But this whole
Yeah,
seventh season thing is really starting to look like it's happening again.
Happens, man.
Um,
I've been saying it. I've been saying it for ages, right? You can't have the same team for 5 or 6 years and be successful. You have to change it up all the time. Every good manager knows when it's time to move players on. He should have moved Salah on when he moved Mane on. It's time. It's
mm.
time to move him on. For me, okay, Firmino should have been gone years ago. Why is he still there? But you did say also that the managers dominate, right? Klopp did not dominate. He won one league, one Champions League in like
One league, and then he
six,
came
7 years.
second, third, fourth, or something like that,
he had
right?
okay, one league, one Champions League. He's also had three Champions League finals. How many times did he finish second? And behind Man City,
So
like
He
he's a
if you
finished second
serial
finish
in
second
the
he's a
behind
past
Man
serial
4
City,
loser. He's a serial loser
years.
then.
no, if you finish second behind Man City, you've basically won the Premier League.
In the
Okay, so
past
we
4
so
years,
we
though,
won the
he
Premier
came
League.
second, third,
Not
and
you.
fourth, right? After winning, they came second, third, and fourth.
Yes, that's the
Right?
thing.
They've
Yeah.
only come second once in the past 4 years, and then
But
first
the
once,
point
and then
that's true. That's true. But the point remains that they have been giants. Although like every time like right now in today's like this season, no one's scared to play against Liverpool. But Liverpool was a
mm.
giant that nobody wanted to come up against. If you draw Liverpool in the Champions League, you're scared.
That's the
You have
thing,
an
though, is that's
upcoming
like the
fixture.
tale of time now. Like, because he's not changed up his team for so long, he's kept the same players now. Like, it's the steady decline that everyone is starting to see. Like this season, you will see like a different Liverpool this season. You will see a Liverpool that looks vastly like downgraded compared to what it was last season and the season before.
It's complacent
Like,
state.
I
Yeah.
don't even know how Henderson is still playing football, bro. This guy's got to be 87 years old. There's no way this guy is like still eligible to pass a fitness test.
He's rubbish, man. He's rubbish. But look, that's Liverpool. They're mudded, right? We're gonna
What do you
move
think about the handball things, by the way? The
that. I'm
handball
gonna bring
decision.
that up. I'm gonna bring that up in a minute. I'm gonna talk about the United game, right? United played
Hold on.
Everton.
I just want to touch on my counterpoint for Arsenal.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm ready to
Yeah.
argue. Actually, okay, go on.
Okay. Although what you're saying historically is correct about they always start well and then they decline and drop off. First of all, they never start this well. They never start this well. This is
Okay.
an incredible start to be ahead of today's Man City. That is something that's commendable no matter what team you are and no matter who you support and who you hate. That's something that you have to commend. And the reason why I don't think they're going to drop off in the way that they normally do, obviously, I don't think they're going to finish first place. They're going to burn out and go lower in the top four. But the way that they play football and the way. Let's start with Gabriel Jesus. defending alongside. He was standing next to Ramsdale. He was all the way back, clearing the ball, defending, playing for the badge. How many times did he get knocked? The guy got knocked out and still played. Like these players are they're not playing for fun. They're not playing to win. They're playing for Arsenal. And you can really see, even in the way that they celebrated, the way Arteta was jumping up and down after the game, the players were hugging each other and laughing, and it was just a regular league game. He didn't win a Champions League final, but they sure looked like they won a Champions League final. The way, the atmosphere, the passion, the way the fans are involved this season so much more than they usually are. I think this, and I've been saying this, this is a breakout season for Arsenal. And I completely disagree with the both of you. But let's hear what you have to say.
Look, Arsenal have always played good football. They've always played good football. You can bring it back. You can roll the highlights. You've seen that goal against Norwich, right? When they pass one touch, one touch, one touch, and Ramsey's through and he taps it in. Bro, they did nothing that year. I think they scraped top four, if I'm not mistaken, and they won the FA Cup. But it doesn't matter. You can play amazing football and not have the bottle to do well. If you name me one good team they've beaten this year, Liverpool.
Yeah,
That Liverpool team got rolled over by us after we got slapped 4-0 by Brentford. Like, no, I'm not gonna say that we were crap or horrible in that game. We played well, but that was a team that were coming back from a loss, and they couldn't beat us. They struggled to beat Newcastle. They drew with Fulham at home. They drew with
Tottenham?
Everton, right?
No, they did not. I don't think they've only dropped 1 point, 2 points, and that was in their loss. Other than that, they've won every game.
Liverpool.
Oh, Liverpool. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Arsenal.
Liverpool, and they've drawn at Anfield. It's not a fortress anymore. A few times. It
Anfield is the least
What about
fortunate.
why is the Tottenham win not getting any credibility?
That I can give some credibility to, but I don't think Tottenham are all that. I think they're better than they're better than Arsenal in the long run. They're going to do better than Arsenal this season. I'm not saying Arsenal are bad, right? They're better than the majority of teams in the league this season. Every team right now is going through a transitional period. 18, I'd say 18 of the 20 teams right now are going through a transitional period. The earlier ones are City, who're going to walk the league, and Arsenal, who've got their stuff together. The players have played together for longer. I don't think they're bad, but this hype needs to calm it. It's only been 9 games. Relax. Relax.
We realized the recurring pattern, and when we started the podcast episodes, it's only been 4 games. It's only been 5 games. It's only been 7 games. It's only been 9, and they're still at the top.
I can't
It's
wait.
only been 32 games, guys. Chill, bro. Like, you get to the end of the season, they're still like, they're like 120 points or something like that. It's fine. They're gonna fall off eventually.
But let's move on to United. Actually, Josh, I gotta give you props. You said it and it happened. So we were talking about Ronaldo's 700th goal, and I think before or during the Europa League game, you did say he's not bagging his 700th in a Europa League game, and I'm so sure of this. He's gonna come and score against Everton, and that's how the script is already written. That's how it's going down.
I told you
to
he'd
be
come
fair
off
to
the
you,
bench as well. I told you he'd come off the bench and
yeah,
do
you
it.
did say that. So to be fair to you, you were bang on. You hit the nail on the head, and well done.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing. Anthony is the first player for Man United ever to score his debut his debut and in the following 2 games, his first 3 games for the club. I'm just saying.
Bro,
I
No, man.
expect him
No,
as the
don't
marquee
say
signing
it.
of the season.
no, he is good. He has to do a lot more to justify the price tag. But you know what? I don't see the price tag when I look at him. I see a really good right winger. He presses, he defends, he can shoot. He needs to work on his end product a bit more. But overall, United performance, probably our most complete performance of the season. 2-1 doesn't look great, but Casemiro making a mistake to concede early, and then to play that beautiful through ball to Ronaldo. And Ronaldo, that they threw it back to 2018, bro. They threw it back. Ronaldo went through on goal, finished past Pickford, who has been having an amazing season. Everton before this game had the best defense in the Premier League. Now they're still joint best with City and one other team, but good performance from United. I want to talk about the handball though. I want to talk about Rashford's goal. He scored a goal that should have stood. He's jumping. It hits his sleeve, I think,
It
and
hits here.
it
This
hits
is the thing.
it hits here. Like
but he's also bringing his arm inwards as he's doing it, like he's controlling the ball. That's the problem.
And
That's
so
what it looks
quick,
like.
it bounces off Tarkovsky. Obviously, if you slow it down, it looks worse. But it bounces off Tarkovsky, and he tries to control it, and it got disallowed. I was annoyed. We won the game. I was so annoyed because it was really nerve wracking at the end. But then in the Arsenal game, Gabriel had his hand here, and it hit his arm here, and they didn't give the penalty.
Let's talk about that for 1 second.
It didn't give the
I
penalty.
seen I see a lot of TikToks and a lot of Liverpool fans talking about how like, oh, the league is against them and nobody wants them to win and the refs are in Arsenal's pockets. Have you noticed this is like the first time ever that a decision doesn't go Liverpool's way?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the 107th minute goal against Newcastle?
Oh, that
Or
annoyed
like the
me. That
hundreds of
annoyed
penalties
me.
that weren't given against Liverpool this season? I think it's ridiculous to even have the audacity to open your mouth about that penalty not being given.
You're
Bro,
right.
like
You're right.
Liverpool fans have no space to talk, bro. Like, Josh, you remember Salah's dive like 3 seasons ago? I'm never gonna let this go. He dived into the box and got a penalty. Literally, like I don't think I've ever seen a team be more favored by referees than Liverpool in the past 2 years.
I agree.
I've seen
Uh,
and Man City. I've seen some dreadful decisions. Like the standard of refereeing, if you guys want to talk about that, has like dropped. Since VAR has come in, the standard of referee has dropped vastly, to be honest with you.
Even worse
Like,
because it's like you have the video and you're still messing up. It's like you can watch
here's one
it
thing
back.
I want to say, right? I watched like a lot of rugby growing up, right? And they have the system. They have the system sorted in rugby. It works. It's a foolproof system. There's no way a referee can get a decision wrong because there's a group of people in a room who analyze the whole game. They've got every angle. They've got 4 people on the touchline. They've got a referee and an assistant referee who will come onto the pitch and advise him. All the mics are put through the TV and I think some places through the stadium very slightly, so everyone can hear the refs. There's no way anyone can get it wrong. You don't have to go to a 1950s small screen on the side of the pitch to go and review it very slightly. Like there's there's ways in rugby that should be implemented into football that show like they have the formula. It's already written. It's been done, and there's no reason why they shouldn't implement some of the things like that into football because it's delivered some atrocious decisions like that. Was it Edison on Fraser when Edison took
Yeah,
out
yeah, yeah,
Fraser
yeah, yeah.
just off the ball, like it was so obviously like off the ball in the penalty box, and and it didn't even get blown up for a foul. Like it was one of the most ridiculous decisions I've ever seen. So I really think that like there's a formula for it. It's successful. It works in one of the biggest sports in the world. I don't see why they can't implement the same level of officiating into
I
football.
agree. I agree. That's I've watched podcasts and people like yourself, rugby fans, watch football. Like you said, it's mic'd up so everyone can hear the decisions. Even in American sports, they do it. They make the refs explain to the crowd, "This is a
Yeah,
decision because this happened." Why
yeah.
can't you do that in football? You're too stubborn. They can't do it. They can't get over their egos. Thing is, it is the only sport I know where even the referees have egos. It's crazy. Football is this crazy sport. It's gone. That's a whole nother subject, but yeah.
Mm.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
that's uh that's United. That's United. Went a bit off topic there. Yeah, anything to say, Hussein?
let's
Yeah.
no, I want to talk about Newcastle now.
Wait, wait,
5-1.
wait. Let me just sum up the rest of the
Okay,
Premier League first. All right. West
okay.
Ham, good win. Skamaka. Why didn't
Skamaka is oh, he's
why
such
didn't
a talent.
anyone sign him? I wanted United to sign him. Milan were linked to him. You should have got him. Newcastle were linked to him, and we all messed up. And he went to West Ham for free.
Lol.
3 goals in his last 3 games. Paqueta,
West Ham sniped Paqueta as well, man.
Paqueta,
Right.
ex AC Milan, linked with Newcastle as well. He's doing
Currently a
well.
Brazilian international, man.
He's
He's popping off.
he's killing it. He's killing it. West Ham did well there. They scored a handball goal as well. Antonio went through on goal. He
That
handled
was
the ball.
worse. The Antonio one was way worse, man.
Scored it. He handled it
Yeah.
and scored. It's not like if he
He
passes it off.
literally controlled it as well. He literally brought it into the middle and
Yep.
made sure that he had control of the ball.
That's why I'm so angry. But anyway, that refereeing again. Um, Chelsea won. Woo, good for Potter. He looks like he's
Right.
settling in well. 20 goals for Haaland.
Mm, lol.
No, he's not. He's at 15.
20 in all
No,
comps. In all
20 in
comps. In
Oh,
all
in all
comps.
comps, yeah, in all comps, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Can we deep this for a moment? 20 goals. It's October. The 10th of October today. 20 goals.
But
Yeah.
there's no way he keeps on this trajectory. He's gonna end up with maybe 35
He's
at the end of
gonna
the season.
yeah, he's extremely injury prone. His injury
That's
list
the
has been
thing. If
really
he,
big.
yeah, I agree.
So if he can keep fit, who knows what he can do, you know, but I I don't see it happening. I don't see him breaking like any record this season or anything like that. I think he's just going to have a good season. I see like a 20 to 25, maybe like 27 goal season for
In the
him
league or in all comps?
in the league.
Yeah.
In the
I strongly disagree. I think he's gonna end up with at least 35 league goals.
That's if he stays fit.
it's not crazy to say that. It's not crazy
It's
to say
If
fit.
he
that.
stays fit,
If he stays
he
fit,
if he stays fit, he will definitely have 35 goals. That's not a doubt.
Yep.
mm,
100%. But now we can move on to the two.
two,
Newcastle 5-1 versus Brentford. Ben, what do you have to say?
you know, it's been a long time coming, man. I've been waiting years to talk about a new team, not like a sit at the back, boot the ball up the pitch until trying to get it to Kristen Atsu, whatever his name is, trying to get it to that man. They're like what Eddie Howe has done with this team is in the matter of like from January, pretty much. Let's say like the end of December, because that's when we played United last season. From December until now, it's like it's not even the same team. Like will I think Josh has probably watched more of Newcastle than you have, Hussein. He'll tell you like it is just like uncomparable. Like Steve Bruce ball to Eddie Howe ball is like the biggest like difference you could ever see. He has turned average players into Premier Leagues. He's turned Championship players into Premier League players. Miguel Almiron was just was just hopeless like the previous two seasons because he just ran around. He had no direction. He had no reason to do the things that he did. But now Eddie Howe has made him focus on the press, made him focus on pressing high and hard, and making him dart down the wing more. Like he used to try and grab the ball and just do his own thing, like just run around. But now he has a mission. He either runs down the wing or he cuts back in and shoot. Like it's the only two things that he can do, right? And then he chases the ball. Players like Joe Linton, the biggest flop in Premier League history, people were calling him. You know, people were saying he's the worst signing that any Premier League club had. £40 million for a striker who scored one goal and assisted two. And then in the next season, he had like two goals and maybe one more assist. It was hopeless. And then Eddie Howe comes in and does the unthinkable, brings a striker into a box to box midfielding role. It's just like to me, it's just he's like revolutionized Newcastle with the takeover. It has helped, and obviously all Newcastle fans know that it's a very big thing for us to have this takeover. But I think if Eddie Howe had come in without the takeover, we still would be comfortably out of the relegation zone with the way that he's changed the players that we did have, like let's say Callum Wilson, uh, Joe Linton. He's turned Callum Wilson into a 15 to 20 uh, goal striker per season if he stays fit,
Yeah.
which is not going to happen. But if he stays fit, that's the level that Callum Wilson is at. Saint Maximan still needs some work.
Yeah.
He's like he wants Ballon d'Ors, but he's far off that yet. Like it's crazy to me that he's got high hopes though. So but
How old is he
5-1,
now?
he's not old. He's like 24, 25,
Yeah.
something like that, I
Something like
think.
that, yeah.
But
Interesting.
like he has all the talent in the world. He doesn't need to be another, Ben Arthur, like another like sort of stuck up, like thinks he can do everything himself type of thing. But the 5-1 was like it was a clinic from Bruno Guimaraes. Just all day, like he controlled the game. He was darting balls across the pitch to Almiron. He was pressing high with Joe Linton, him together. Joe Linton and him were pressing high, and one of his turnovers, he then ran just outside the box and scored the long shot to get the third goal, I think it was. It's just like you can just see a different energy in the team right now. Like it's
Goal was
and
insane.
I can thoroughly see like if Newcastle keep playing with the way they are, we'll challenge for top 7 this year. I'm saying it now.
I
Newcastle are going to
agree.
challenge for top
I
7
agree.
this
I've been
year.
saying it since the first episode. I think you guys come 7th, or at least
In
challenge
the
top 7.
famous words of Mark Goldbridge, Newcastle are coming, and they're coming hard.
He's not
I'm
wrong.
telling you.
You talked to
Let's
you.
let's have
Wait,
a best case and a worst case prediction. Like if everything goes right, where do you finish? And if everything goes left, where are you finishing?
There's potential in this team, man, especially with January. There's potential with this team because we like to press high now, right? Which sometimes does leave us vulnerable at the back, and it's hard to play that kind of tactics when you've got Dan Burn at the back. He's a good defender, but to play against the teams like Man City, to play against the Man Uniteds now, the Arsenals now, I do not want to see Dan Burn versus Son. I don't want to see that. I just give him the goal before he takes on Dan Burn. I don't want to see that atrocity happen. We need to sign another centre back in January. Best case scenario, we get another centre back to partner with Sven Botman. We need a winger to cover for Almiron, and then to cover Almiron and Fraser. And then best case scenario, we keep playing the way we're playing. I can see possibly even 6th place, possibly even 6th place,
ooh.
and the best case for me would be 5th, but that's borderlining like very unlikely to happen.
Hmm.
I'd like to give a better prediction by December. By December, I like if all goes well, I'm gonna hold high hopes and say 5th. But that's just
Okay.
crazy talk.
The thing is, as well, right? You got the World Cup, and with all that money, you know how usually the best players go to Real Madrid or Barcelona or whoever the big spenders. That could be Newcastle this year. You never know.
Bro, yeah, this is the thing. You know what the funny thing is as well? I just read this today. Bruno Guimaraes, he had a call from Real Madrid to go there before he signed for
Oh yeah, he
Newcastle.
said I want to be a legend at
He wants to
Newcastle.
be a legend.
Respect that so much. I respect it. And speaking of Bruno Guimaraes, I actually have some stats here. I don't think you guys have seen this, right? This is against other selected central midfielders in the Premier League. Okay, these stats are per 90. He has the most tackles per 90, the second most possessions won per 90, the most progressive carries of the ball per 90, the most chances created per 90, and the most through balls, completed through balls per 90.
Yeah.
From a holding
Interesting.
midfielder, he's not
We're
attacking
talk
midfielder.
yeah, we're talking about someone who could seriously go on to be a massive Premier League midfielder. And when Newcastle, I don't say if, I say when Newcastle start challenging for Europa and then eventually Champions League, he will perform on the big stage. He's doing it for Brazil already. He's pushing Newcastle into depths that we haven't been before, and I think that he is seriously like a player for the future. And I hope we can keep him. I really do hope, but you never know. He wants to be a legend. Prove it and stay forever. Don't leave, please.
Forever.
But worst case, 10th. That would be the absolute worst thing for me. Would be like the worst thing for me would be anything below 10th
Mhm.
because there's like I feel like this season there's a big divide between the teams that the top half and the bottom half. I feel like there's teams that I know for 100% fact are going to be in the top half, and I know for a fact that there's teams that aren't going to get out of that fucking 15th, 16th spot, 14th spot.
Sorry about the language, people.
Sorry, I apologize for that. Um, can't help it, man. Um, but I see Newcastle with the ability that we've got staying out of that bottom half, definitely. And if we do go down there, then it's a loss of a season, in my opinion. It's a
Yeah,
wasted opportunity.
that's true. That's true. Good
That's fair enough.
points. Good
I'd
points.
like to know your opinion on Isaac. Isak coming to the
He's
Premier League.
he is going to, if he stays fit, right? He's got injured early, which is a
He's
shame.
just been injured with Sweden. Yeah.
I rate him so highly. There was a point where United were linked with him, and I was getting excited. He's not an out and out goal scorer like maybe Callum Wilson is when he's fit, but his ability, his height, his strength, his finishing. I think he can be one of the best strikers in the league if he applies himself. But with Guimaraes behind him, and if Newcastle keeps strengthening, I don't see why he doesn't get 20 plus goals a season.
The thing is, if I'm sure I don't know about Hussein, but Josh, I know you saw his debut at home.
Bro,
You see this the
wow.
same. He
Mhm.
had an offside goal and a
And he
goal
did
that
manage to
stood right.
score. Yeah.
Those two goals were just like for a debut in the Premier League against, I can't remember who it
It was
was. I
Liverpool,
think,
I believe.
Liverpool.
was it
It was
Liverpool
at Anfield. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
against Liverpool, like a team that you know is going to be top
There's
three.
the pressure doesn't get higher than that, and to be still
Exactly.
able to perform is
And he
yeah,
put
it's big.
a fucking beautiful clinic on that
Sorry
day,
for the language.
regardless of the fact. Sorry, regardless of the fact we lost that game, which we all know that game. Going into the 107th minute, was it?
Yeah, no,
No, it was
that
like the
that that
97.
was annoying. That was annoying. I was so angry at
107.
that.
What did I say? 107.
Yeah.
It was 100th minute, or the 97th or something. But I was so upset in the pub that people around me thought I was a Newcastle fan. They started laughing at me. I was like, I'm not a Newcastle fan. Like, why are you so
Yeah.
upset? Well, I didn't want to say United fan because I think I would have got killed.
Then they would have known. But, but
But
yeah, that's another like that was just ridiculous. How can you let the game go on for that long?
I
Like
agree.
it just regardless of the fact if Pope may have been lying down on the floor for 2 minutes earlier on in the game, it doesn't deem then an extra 3-4 minutes being added on. You add on the amount of time that is wasted. Fair enough. I'm all for that, but don't add extra time on to the extra time.
Oh yeah. No, I've seen games ended even with time wasting, so that was annoying.
Another thing that
But
VAR should fix
oh
is
yeah,
is you know
questionable. But I think that's everything on Newcastle in the Premier League. We're gonna move on to Hussein's bread and butter now.
So yeah,
Hussein's.
let's keep the rest of the European competitions short. There's not too much to discuss here, and then we'll move on to
Wait,
the
sorry.
Champions League.
I forgot to bring up some stats that I wanted to bring up for Newcastle earlier.
One.
I'd just like to say that um, this year we have the highest amount of shots on goal, and as a team, which shows that we press high and we play attacking football. We have the most amount of crosses delivered into the box. We have the most amount of corners taken, and we have the second amount of shots that have hit the woodwork, the third amount of shots from goals outside the box, and we have where is it? We have the yeah, that's all we have.
Lovely
But it
stuff.
just
Lovely
shows
stuff.
the levels. It just shows the
Creations as
levels.
well. Props to Trippier. Honestly, how many chances he creates from his crosses and set pieces.
This
One of the
guy's ridiculous,
one of the
man.
best right backs in the league. But yes, Hussein,
Yeah,
continue.
Go
so
ahead.
let's take a little flight to Italy, where currently Lazio are winning 2-0 against Fiorentina, so that's good for them. Putting them in third place, tied with Udinese and Milan. Um, and Napoli are still sitting at the top, just 2 points ahead of Atalanta, who are now cemented in second place, 1 point ahead of Lazio, Udinese, and Milan. Um, Roma sitting 1 point behind them in sixth, and Inter, that's where the gap starts to grow a little bit. There's a 4 point difference between Roma and Inter, still leaving 4 points between first and sixth place,
Mm,
9 games into the league.
insane.
This is going to be a crazy, crazy season in Italy. Um, let's talk about the football. So, obviously, things kind of went south midweek for Milan.
Oh
It was
yes,
bit
yes,
of a
yes, yes.
demoralizing
Wait,
game.
wait. We'll talk about
We
that
will we will
Champions
move on
League.
to that.
Yeah.
we will move on to that. But Milan did manage to bounce back and have a stellar performance against Juventus, with Tomori bagging a goal after an absolutely abysmal, shocking, terrible, horrific, uh, bad. I don't want to swear, but every bad thing you could say on earth was how Tomori performed against Chelsea. For him to come back as a center back and still bag a goal for Milan the next game is very good. And Raheem Diaz with a wonder goal. What a beauty of a goal. For those who didn't see it, I strongly recommend you go and you watch Brahim Diaz's goal. It was on my Instagram story yesterday. Oh, it was beautiful. He took it from halfway, went right past Chiellini, boosted past. I don't even remember who because he left him in the dust. I managed to finish on his weak foot. Oh, it was such a beautiful goal. But now I think it's time to start talking about Allegri. And I saw a few weeks ago that people were talking about Allegri and saying, "Oh, Allegri needs to leave, Allegri out, and whatnot." I was thinking it's a little premature. But now, yet another loss. Where are Juventus in the league? Let me just have a quick look. They are
Oh,
currently
Inter.
sitting in eighth.
That's
Sorry?
shocking. That's at the
Yeah,
eighth.
they're
That's
below
shocking.
Inter. Yeah. And I saw this stat. I'm not sure about the legitimacy of this stat, but it was like they've played with Allegri. They've played 3 against Milan, 4 against Inter. Like in terms of big games, they had 17 big games. Of those 17, Allegri has won one. I still need to verify the legitimacy of this stat because I did just like see it on Twitter like just before the podcast. So I'm not too sure how real this is, but if this is real, then this is just ridiculous. And Allegri has just also become one of those managers that has managed past his time and
Yeah.
is just getting found out. And I don't know what to say at this point. It's getting really hard. Certain people just don't help their cases when they're under pressure, and Allegri is he does seem to be one of them. But let's move over to this was an interesting game. Udinese versus Atalanta. We all know Udinese have been defying all odds and sitting in the top four comfortably. And they still managed to tie 2-2 with Atalanta. Today or yesterday was not the day where Udinese get found out as frauds. They are still in the race. They're still Deulofeu and Perez managed to bag them 2 goals. Um, although they never had the lead, they still managed to keep fighting and draw the game. Now they're sitting in fourth again, like tied third, I guess you'd say. But
I just want to talk about Roma real quick. Roma,
yeah,
good win, very good win. Dybala with the important goal, but he's injured and he's out now.
is he
Yeah,
out
he's
again?
out. His World Cup is out completely now.
Done.
Are
Him
you
at
sure?
also Luis Diaz
Uh,
also forgot to mention it with Liverpool. That's huge for Liverpool as well. Diaz is out
Lol.
until the end of
For how
December.
long?
Until the end of December, he misses the World Cup.
Okay, yeah.
Dybala, yeah. Mourinho said it's serious. Mourinho said
Oh,
it's
he
Yeah,
said it's very,
serious.
very bad.
That
yeah.
it's a huge blow for Roma. You know, honestly,
It's a yeah.
we're talking about the Dybala and his the intelligence of his signing by Jose Mourinho, and now he's gone. That's the main man, and this could be huge for not only Roma's campaign but Argentina's World Cup hopes. Hussein,
I'd
what are
like
your
to see.
immediate reactions to this?
I'm upset. I'm
I'd
so
like to
upset.
see the amount of goal contributions that Dybala has
He's
for the
he's in
club.
a he's involved in a goal every single game,
That's
and
because he is like seriously a class player, and like the fact that he's like missing this World Cup. Not good for Argentina, man. It's
this
not
is
good
a
at all.
huge blow for
Yeah,
Argentina. Oh man, I'm
that's-
upset. I'm upset.
Listen,
realistically, it's,
seven
Oh no.
in the Europa and Serie A this season in 11 games. 11 games, 7 goals, 2 assists.
He's not a striker. He's a
yeah,
10.
I know, and it's he's had his resurgence, and this injury could have derailed everything. It's really
that's not
unfortunate.
even goal contributions either. That's like just goals and assists.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
actual, I bet he has a
This
crazy amount of
is
goal contributions.
Poor guy, man.
this is upsetting. It's so upsetting. I really hope that he does make it back in time for the World Cup. It's safe to say that Roma will not be the same team without him.
Mm.
He's such a big impact. Did I read that Smalling also managed to score in that
Yeah,
game?
yeah, Chris
What?
Smalling.
What is Smalling on, man? Smalling is going crazy.
This guy's just popped off as soon as he got into the Italian league, man.
The Italian league
Yeah,
so well.
Smalling
He's
has been good.
tall, he's strong, he wins headers. He doesn't need to move that
Oh,
much.
an update. Lazio are up 3 now against Fiorentina. Let's
Jeez.
go over to Naples, where the pizza is tasty and Kvaratskhelia is still the best player in the world.
Yeah.
He didn't manage to get on the score sheet in a 4-1 win against Cremonese, but he did get another assist, which means it keeps the streak of his goal contributions per game going. Very dominant performance from Napoli with 21 shots, 10 on target, 71% possession. Just to put things into perspective, Cremonese had 257 passes. Napoli had 622 in that game, which is an absurd number.
That's
So
insane.
yeah, in terms of the Serie A, there's really not that much. Inter won, but nobody cares about Inter. They suck. Although it wasn't even that dominant of a win. The game looks very even. I need to, you know what I realized about myself? Yeah, I haven't been watching football the way I used to. I'm looking at stats. I'm not going off of what I've seen,
It's
which is
stat
terrible.
man.
So yeah, I need
Stephen A.
to.
Smith.
You can't watch all the games. That's the thing. You can watch a few,
But
but
I
it's
used
difficult.
to, and we all know right now I'm not really doing too much at home, so I do have the time to do it. So I think I need to start getting back on the football horse and
Make
start
sure I'm
watching
gonna
more
see.
games.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but
I have a question, just
sure.
and this is a bit unrelated
Okay.
to the Serie A. I just wanted to know who you guys think, and don't jump straight away. Think about it. I want you to think who has the best front three in the Premier League right now.
How about let's let this question marinate while we discuss the rest of Europe, and we'll come back
Because
to it
I've
towards the
got
end
an
of the
answer that
podcast.
I don't think you're gonna. I got an answer I don't think you're gonna expect.
okay,
Okay, so let's
okay,
come back to this.
okay. So
Bournemouth. No, I'm joking.
just to
Okay,
we're gonna just recap the big Champions League scores, right? You wanna do the
hold on, we're
first?
still going,
Oh,
man.
you
Why
still
are
do
you, why are you
Serie
in a
A?
rush?
You do Serie A?
No, we're
Okay.
going. We're flying to Spain. Why are you in a rush,
Oh,
bro?
sorry.
Sorry, we're just on the flight at the moment. Oh, we've landed, and it looks like Barcelona are now tied with Madrid at the top, 22 points each, comfortably ahead of Athletic Club. Um, Atletico Madrid are fighting their way back. Now they're in fourth place. Let's look at the
Who just signed
matches.
Griezmann permanently, right?
Yeah,
But they
yeah.
haven't signed him.
They
They
have, they
they did
have.
Wait.
It was
Oh,
sign
they
him.
they've.
permanent. Yeah,
Oh,
Fabrizio
okay.
just confirmed it the other day.
That's
yeah.
interesting. That's interesting. Madrid and Barca both with a 1-0 win against Getafe and Celta Vigo, and I guess that's it because no one cares about the other teams. Let's be real.
Villa's
But
still rotting away at the bottom, but yeah.
yes, Union Berlin still sitting at the top of the Bundesliga. I wonder how much longer this is gonna last, and I'm
Bubbles
loving it while I'm
bursting.
seeing it.
1 or 2 weeks, bubbles bursting, but not this week because Der
Okay.
Klassiker was a classic.
Uh huh.
2-2. Dortmund in the
Got that.
94th minute. Did you see the videos of the
95th.
celebrations? 95th. Did you see the
Yeah.
celebrations?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love German celebrations, bro. They go insane.
It was a beautiful game. It was another game that I wish that I'd watched. What was I doing? Oh no, I think I was at an event. Fair enough. But yeah, I wish I watched that game. What a you just see like I love seeing Dortmund come up with positive results against Bayern because they're always the giants and they're always the intimidating team who takes players from Dortmund and just to see
The
like
underdog
it's like
story, man.
watching the
Yeah.
underdog story. It's like watching someone stand up to their bullies. So I love to see it.
It's
It's like
great.
But
Dortmund's a team that you can't not like. I don't
Yeah.
think there's one person in the world, unless you're a Bayern fan, there's not one person in the world that doesn't like Dortmund
I
as a team.
agree.
mhm.
They are
Park
amazing.
Juho, Marco Royce, got the amazing players from back in the 2015-16 season.
Good youth players, 100%. Lazio 4-0 up, by the
Oh,
way, now, Hussein.
oh, interesting. But yeah, and Freiburg's still sitting in second. Bayern are climbing their way back up, but it might come out to be a tougher season than usual. They'll still win it very comfortably, but a bit tougher than usual. Um, and now hold on, we're in the airplane and we have just landed in France, where PSG are still at the top, obviously, but they're only 1 point ahead of Lorient, Lorient.
Laurie, yeah, you did say it.
But yeah, and PSG, they did they're coming off two draws, which is a little weird for PSG against. They drew with Benfica 1-1. They
They
drew nil
struggled,
nil
bro. They
with
struggled.
Reims. Yeah, as Sergio Ramos gets sent off in the 41st minute of their last game, which classic Ramos. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how PSG progress in the Champions League. I don't know about how far they're gonna get. To be completely honest, with all the political issues, I'm starting to see holes, and I'm starting to maybe believe that it could be so much as much as a quarterfinal exit for PSG, depending on the draw and how that goes. But let's see where this goes. Moving on to the Champions League, there's one game which we're gonna skip. We don't need to talk about it. It's not important.
No, no,
We'll,
no. We're
we'll cover
going. We're
that
going.
game
We're
off.
going
We'll
into
cover
it. We're going into it. Chelsea, they didn't just beat. They didn't just own. They annihilated
Graham
AC
Potter
Milan.
masterclass, baby.
Annihilated. You got beat by a guy that looks like a cartoon character. What do
He
you have to
actually
say
does.
about this, Graham Potter?
I could sit here and make excuses. I could sit here and say that four of our starters were off, four pivotal starters. For example, Theo Hernandez was not playing. Mike Mignon, who is our best player, he's our best player, was not playing. Although Touchliner did put in a shift. Serginho Dest was on our right side, has no business being on our right side or even in our club. Another player who has no business being in our club, a player who has no business being a football player. Krunic was playing on our right side, which means we had a minus right side. And, like,
Two.
Yo, but
trying to control
his
my
finishing's
emotions.
not that bad.
Yeah, he only misses open goals. I hate him. I hate. If there's one human being on this planet that I hate and despise with my whole heart, it's Rade Krunic. If there's one player that I would no, I'm not gonna say that. That's very mean. But I don't
Can
like
we
the
give
guy.
can we give our least favorite player? Uh,
Krunic.
Josh, what are you saying?
Uh, Salah. No, yeah, Salah.
Really? That's such a basic choice, though. There's got to be somebody else that his face just annoys you.
It's Salah, bro. Yo, he thinks he's so good. I'm so happy he's failing this season. I don't hate Haaland. I respect Haaland.
Mm,
Okay,
I'm gonna
but as
say
I was sorry, Ben.
Wait,
it's
Continue.
fine, mate.
Ben
Go
didn't say
ahead.
his
It's all
player.
Sorry,
right, mate.
sorry. Go on, Ben.
No, the plane's gone. The plane's gone, man.
No, it's okay. No, they haven't taken off yet.
Okay. I'm gonna say I got a few players that I hate, but I'm gonna
One of
narrow it
them's
down to two.
I know who one of them's gonna be.
Ramsdale. I
Oh,
hate Ramsdale.
I forgot about Arsenal.
I
Yes.
hate this guy so much. Ramsdale, and then Richarlison. I think
I love Richarlison. I
He's
Richarlison.
love
good.
Richarlison.
I do hate
Richarlison's what
Ramsdale
Premier
actually.
League needs.
I hate Ramsdale so much. This guy, if you
Yeah.
kick a ball at his feet, he's probably gonna dive, do 10 front flips, and then
Any
palm it out for
player
a
in a
corner.
any player in a Man United shirt as well. It's Marcus Rashford. Stick to
Okay,
feeding kids, man.
to
Don't play football.
He's
continue
scoring.
my
He's scoring against
analysis.
Newcastle on the weekend. Yeah, continue.
Yeah. So yeah, as I was saying, we're missing four starters. Um, we were away in Stamford Bridge. I could say 100 things, but it all boiled down to one simple thing, and it's that no one had energy, no one had heart, no one wanted to play, no one wanted to win. I saw them 2-0 down, and they were casually passing around the back as if you're 2-0 down. What are you doing? De Ketelaere, look, here's my issue with De Ketelaere right now. I am very happy with him taking his time because I understand it's going to take time for him to acclimatize and become the player that he's going to become. The same thing happened with Tonali. Tonali took a whole season to become Tonali. His first season was bad. I'm expecting the same thing from De Ketelaere. But the difference is Tonali didn't start every game. De Ketelaere is starting every game ahead of Brahim Diaz. Brahim Diaz came on last game and he showed he still loves the club. He still wants to play for the badge. He's still gonna give it everything he's got. The Catalara is he comes on the field and he looks like he's shell shocked, like, oh, I'm at Milan, I'm scared, you know. And you make excuses for him game by game. Oh, he didn't score, but it's okay. He had a good few passes, a good few touches against Chelsea. To put it simply, he was a liability. You know, there was a time in the first half, Leao squared it to him, and he missed a very very easy. It was a sitter, and he missed it. Um, Again, Leao, oh my God, beautifully gets past like 17 players, squares it off to Krunic. What does Krunic do? Looks He looks at Rosette and he goes, "Oh, I see my uncle. Hey, uncle, do you want a ball?" Boom! Sends it to his uncle. I hate Krunic. But yeah, first goal comes in, and you could tell Reece James got two goal involvements. You can tell that we're lacking on the left side. Fode Ballo-Toure, he did score in the prior game against Empoli, but he just was not ready for a Champions League start. He was not ready, and it really showed because he was getting beat by Reece James again and again and again. He was defeated um, at that on the left side when Reece James crossed the ball into Aubameyang. A decent cross, but it had no business making it to Aubameyang. Tomori was there; he was in front of Aubameyang, and he just completely misses the ball, sends it to Aubameyang for the second, and that's when it was lights out. They say um, Milan had in the first 10 minutes, Milan had control of the game. We looked like we were gonna blow Chelsea out. All it took was 10 minutes for us to really look like, okay, this is gonna be a very good game for us. And then, like as soon as minute 11 hit, they all decided, you know what, I actually don't want to play anymore, and they let Chelsea take over, and that's exactly what Chelsea did. And what I'm most annoyed about isn't that we lost, because we can lose and bounce back, but usually when we lose, we fight till the last whistle, and that's what happened against Empoli, and that's how we came back and won 3-1. But we lost without heart. We lost without trying, pretty much, and we lost to a Chelsea team that needs to gain momentum, and we let them do exactly that. And now we have a game against them tomorrow, where they've gained momentum. They're now the A side. They're now the better team. They've beaten us 3-0. They have our number, and it's going to be really tough to come back from that. But if there's a time for Tomori to have his comeback game, it wasn't against Juventus. It's tomorrow. We need Tomori to come and show Chelsea, hey, you guys really let me go for 25 million? You're a bunch of idiots. Because right now, Chelsea are laughing.
Score prediction.
3-1.
I just have a few points to say on the game. Firstly, I think Tomori cracked under the pressure. He's gone back to his old club. He's not ready. He was clearly not ready for that. To get bodied like that by old man Aubameyang, right?
Old man Aubameyang.
Reece James, best right back / right wing back in the world. I say it with
I
chest.
was just about to say that. I was gonna say he's easily the best in the league. So
I still think Theo Hernandez could have put him in his pocket.
I
And
think
I'll say that
I
confidently.
think Theo Hernandez would have given him a run for his money. I think that would have been entertaining. I don't know what would have happened, but you missed him.
just he's so well rounded. Reece James
Yeah.
is extremely well rounded. That's what makes him so good. Like you're never in trouble with him.
If he's not starting for England in the World Cup, I'm gonna be quite surprised.
It's gonna be another Southgate masterclass. Clearly, he's gonna have like I don't know. He's got Mike Williamson playing.
But yeah, I hope you guys win tomorrow. It'll make the group more interesting, Hussein. But you're at San Siro. This is the chance. This for this young, inexperienced AC Milan team. You have to look at the team sheet. A lot of these players, they haven't played for Milan very long, or they haven't played in the Champions League for very long. This is their opportunity to make a statement for the club to actually tell people we can make it far in this competition. So
I agree.
I hope you win. And also one of my friends, Charlie, he's going to the San Siro tomorrow for the game. I hope
Is he
he
Yeah.
really?
yes, I hope he goes all the way and AC Milan win.
Shout out to
That would be
player, mate.
amazing.
But yeah, I think what else we got in the Champions League actually quickly. Inter won. You want to talk about that, Hussein?
Honestly, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I did watch that game. That was a game that I did actually manage to watch. It was very back and forth, but I would say that it was Barca dominant. Um, Controversial penalty should have been given, but these things happen in football, and I'm not too fussed about the penalty not being given just because So Barcelona were essentially parked in the last 10 minutes. They were parked in Inter's goal, and they didn't manage to bag anything. I think there was one offside goal that didn't count, but if you don't finish your chances, you don't deserve to win, and it's as simple as that. You can't. Like I always say this in football. Okay, sometimes you get lucky, and if they were to have that handball count and score from a penalty there, although they were outclassing Inter, it would have been as simple as they got lucky because they didn't finish their chances. Lewandowski couldn't do anything. Dembele couldn't do anything, and although they had attack after attack after attack, they really just couldn't capitalize on any of their opportunities. And a team that doesn't capitalize on their opportunities will not make it far. So I do think Barca deserved to lose. Inter showed great defensive ability. Their goal was subpar. I guess Çalhanoğlu did a good job.
What a player! What a player!
He did score a very nice goal. It was a good finish, nicely plotted into the bottom corner. Yeah, I don't know. I still think Barca will qualify ahead of Inter. I believe they're playing tomorrow. Let me just double check. I do believe they are playing tomorrow.
Yeah. Just while you check that
Yes,
though, I think
yes, they are. No, Wednesday. They're playing on Wednesday.
Okay.
So let's see how that one goes.
But yeah, Dortmund winning against Sevilla. Sevilla, obviously. City won. Haaland scored twice. Napoli won 6-1.
Thrashed,
Kvaratskhelia scored.
absolutely thrashed Ajax. Oh, Zaid, my brother, dear
Yes,
brother. I hope
Zaid
you're watching
Kashif.
this. Ah, you've said some things that have really upset me
We're
last
your
couple of
real
days.
brothers as well.
Okay,
I've
relax,
said we're
relax,
real
relax,
brothers.
relax,
What did
relax.
he say? What did Zaid say?
I'm pulling the chat out. Hold on. I'm
You
pulling it
said,
out.
didn't you say you're gonna tell me what he said?
I'm telling you now.
You told me.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time.
Sorry, we've had quite a few conversations.
You're
Okay,
in the same house. Oh no, you're not actually.
we're not.
Yeah, you're not.
Okay, so he decides to tune in to Milan's game against Chelsea, and bear in mind he never watches Milan play ever. So he goes, he just texts me randomly. He goes, "What the f, bro? What garbage team is this? Is this a top Serie A side?" I was telling him like, "Oh, this is like terrible game. Whatever. The team is too young, etc." Then he goes, "No way, Dortmund or Leipzig or even Frankfurt or by the way, he's a Bayern fan. Or even Frankfurt or Leverkusen would
Yeah.
get done like this by Chelsea. Your league is in the gutter." And then I made my arguments about why Serie A is more interesting. I was like, we had a bad game. Chelsea still lost to Zagreb, who we beat 2-1. This isn't how we usually perform. It's a bad game. We're gonna come back from it, etc. And he goes, "No, I get it. Serie A is more entertaining. Like it's so competitive, but on a European standard, everyone's a level below the real top clubs. Like it's a bunch of Leipzigs competing with each other."
Oh.
Which is,
No, that's too
but
disrespectful. You can't.
I know. And then I was like, Inter just beat Barca, and he went, "Do you know how bad Barca is?" First of all, no, they're not. They're
The
tied at the
top of the
top of
league,
La
yeah.
Liga, looking very, very
Isn't
solid
it?
this season.
It's
In
not exactly like a
Napoli,
super challenging league, though, right? Like the La Liga right now.
yeah, no, granted, but they're putting up great performances and scoring lots of goals. Napoli walked through, steamrolled, destroyed, demolished Liverpool and Ajax, the top Dutch side,
Yeah,
who,
yeah, yeah.
although they keep selling their best players, still always are a good team.
I love that.
So
I
how
love them
can
for
you
that,
tell
yeah.
me that the Serie A is in the gutter? Zaid, please get checked because you have a problem. You have a problem. Anyways, yeah, the conversation did go on a lot longer than it should have. I was getting very angry. But yeah, Zaid, please and thank you. You have a problem.
But I think that's everything in the Champions League summed up. So gonna move on to this new segment, right? I want everyone needs to participate in this. So I am gonna
Right.
bring a player to the table that I think in the past has been underappreciated. Okay, and I think that they deserve more. They basically deserve their flowers, right? I think this player
Right.
is good, and we can all acknowledge he's good, but we don't understand
Mm,
how good he was. Yaya
mhm.
Toure in
Yes.
his prime,
Uh-huh.
the 13-14 season when City won the league, I
Mhm.
genuinely think there has not been a midfielder that has bossed the league like he did ever in Premier League history. This guy from holding, not 10, holding midfield. How many goals do you think he got?
Bagged
I
over
don't know.
100, didn't he?
In the one
What?
season.
No, in
In
a
one
season.
season.
I'm saying.
Oh, in one season, I thought you meant career goals.
In the
He
league.
had a 30. He had a 30 goal season, didn't he?
He didn't get 30 goals, but he got 20 goals in the league from holding midfield.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a midfielder dominate. I remember we got slapped up by City twice that season. I think he deserves to be, when we name all these all-time Premier League debates, he should be in the conversation. Next season he got 10 goals. I think he deserves to be in the debate for one of the best holding midfielders we've ever seen.
He was just a presence, wasn't
Mhm.
it? Like he was. It was intimidating to see Yaya Toure on the opposing lineup.
Don't
Like he
forget how
was
good he was at Barcelona
scary.
as well. He
Yeah,
still balled out in Spain.
did, but that's the thing. He played in centre back. Company even said the other day on Rio Ferdinand's podcast, he was so good he could play anywhere and be the best in the world, but he didn't have the effort and the drive. That's why he only had one or two good seasons. If he had the same effort as not even Ronaldo, just a normal professional, he's the kind of player that's like, I know I'm good, so I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think he deserves more credit. Do you guys have any players you think are underappreciated?
Um, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go take a flight to Italy and say that I
surprise,
think
surprise.
Antonio Di Natale is one of the greatest Italian players ever. Very
Didn't like
underrated player, very loyal player, 300 career goals by the way, and that just goes unnoticed. It flies under the radar for Udinese. Like, he didn't do this for No Man City. He didn't do it for Milan. He did it for Udinese and scored 300 career goals. I think that is a very very incredible feat. But I'd like to know who Ben's man is.
The most underappreciated player in Premier League history, Wayne Rooney. The most
Respect,
underappreciated player ever.
respect.
This man, when
He
I
was all right.
like Wayne Rooney was a people say like generational talent. They say it too much. Wayne Rooney was a generational talent, and he was disrespected so much by the English media, especially the English media, and he just didn't get the credit he deserved. He break Shearer's? He didn't break Shearer's record. He was close to breaking Shearer's record. He was just scary as well to like play against Wayne Rooney. He was just like the player. He was like the next like Ronaldo, the next Messi. He was on that he was that close. He was that close to being on par with ability wise. He had everything. He had the physical attributes. He had like the grit. He had that Roy Keane grit. He had that Roy Keane mentality. He had the ability to like shoot like he was Ronaldo. And he had when he was younger before he got injured, he had pace, man. He had pace.
It,
He was ridiculous
it's true.
for United.
I
He
agree with
was
that. I agree with that, of course, as a United fan. But there is someone in this podcast who actually recently disrespected him heavily. Who did you compare him to, Hussein?
Who did I compare it to? I actually forgot. Can you remind me?
Said like I think he said Inzaghi or someone. Basically, not Inzaghi. I
That's a
can't. Oh,
disrespect to
Totti.
Inzaghi.
Or
You don't realize how crazy Inzaghi was.
you name
this is
me. Okay, Hussein.
this is not a conversation I want to
Name
be in.
me one player that's not Messi or Ronaldo that in their career got 200 goals and 100 assists and won, what is it, 5, 6
How many
league
international
titles,
goals as well?
league
How many
titles,
international
and
goals?
top scorer for their country, and
Yeah.
and gave the basically lifted Van Nistelrooy to the Golden Boot, lifted Ronaldo to the Golden Boot, lifted Van Persie to the Golden Boot, and still is United top scorer, England top scorer, 200 plus goals. Name me someone.
Has some of the
Inzaghi does
most.
have 288 goals and 60 assists. Saying.
But okay, let me say this: would Inzaghi have done it in the Premier League? That's just a hypothetical question. I just want to put that out there. Do you think he
No,
would have
but he
matched
did
Wayne
it.
Rooney
He
in the
did
Prem?
it for Milan when they were the best team in the world, and he did it in the Champions League time and time again in final after final.
Hussein, just be honest. Like I know you like to say things and not actually believe it. Do you actually believe that Inzaghi was better than Wayne Rooney
I don't think it
in
was better
both
than
their
Wayne
prime?
Rooney. No, I'm not saying that he was better than Wayne Rooney, but I'm saying to say that Wayne Rooney is like here and Inzaghi is here is ridiculous.
I think it's
Like,
true.
It
I
is
don't know.
true.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Inzaghi is
Thing
a
is, this
good Inzaghi is a good striker. Rooney was a good striker, centre forward, left winger, right winger, central midfielder, central attacking midfielder. He played central defensive midfield for Van Gaal at the end. Like he played
yeah,
everywhere.
when he lost his legs,
He could do it. He could pass. He could shoot. He could head. Man, I will never. I'll never see a player like that ever again.
there
Josh, I
won't
believe
be
you
another.
had some quick fire questions for Ben as well, didn't you?
That's true. I do
Oh,
have some.
wait, I wanted to ask about the top three.
Yeah.
Sorry, the best forward three in the Premier League.
Oh yeah. What you mean in the team? Like which team has the best top front three?
Yeah.
Here's my thing, right?
Mm.
I can't say City because they rotate so much. They don't have a solid front three. I think they've got Haaland, who's the best player in the world right now. Foden, who's good when he plays. Grealish, who's decent when he plays. Mahrez on the right sometimes.
Grealish is a little bench merchant. That man is a bench
But he's,
merchant.
he's,
He's
he's good.
rubbish.
I honestly think anyone in that team would be good. So I'm gonna say. I don't want
Say
to
it, man.
say. I
I know
don't.
you want to say it. I know you want to say it. Say it. I know you want to.
Who do you think I'm gonna say?
Nah, I just want to hear it. I just want to hear it first.
I'm gonna say Manchester United.
Oh, is it? I didn't think you was gonna say that.
Martial's played about four halves of football, I think. Like in total, he's played 180 minutes, and he's got 2 goals and 2 assists
Yeah, he's had a goal contribution or a goal every like 20 something.
every time. Against Everton, he played for 30 minutes. He was injured the whole time, and he still got an assist for Anthony's goal, inch perfect. I think if he's fit, Anthony's on fire right now. Rashford looks like he's back. If they're all playing together, I think we finish Everton. We score 3 or 4 because our finishing was not great. Ronaldo, as good as he was against Everton, he's missing that press, that energy that he used to have 10 years ago. But his finishing is still the best in the world. What do you think, Zane?
Who's partnering with your midfielder right now?
We played
With
yesterday.
Casemiro?
We played Casemiro, Ericsson, and Fernandez.
How are you finding that partnership?
I think it's
Because
working.
Casemiro, I think, is gonna work give it time. It is showing to work
I
in the
agree.
team.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's
But
working
I
well.
just don't think Ericsson is gonna work for you in the long term. I don't think it's gonna be good for you throughout the rest of the season.
The thing is, he's not a 10. He actually, when we have the ball in our half, he's next to the centre backs. He's actually further back than Casemiro when he plays on the ball because he's scanning the pitch, he's looking for the right pass, and he facilitates things. That's why it works. But against City, we got found out. We should have played McTominay and Casemiro. He was caught out there. But in a game where we have the ball, I want Ericsson to start because him and Fernandez to facilitate attacks. That's crazy. That's actually
All right.
we're really good there.
Hussein, what about you when it comes to best front three in the Prem?
Oh, in the Prem. Oh, I thought you were talking about the whole world.
Well,
No, he's
who are
gonna
you gonna
say.
say in the
I
whole
know what he's
world?
gonna say.
What am I gonna say?
The Premier League. I know you're gonna say. For the whole world, you say.
For
I
the
actually
whole
don't
world,
know
what
who
are
I'll
you
say
saying?
for the Premier League. For the whole bro, it's so easy and it's laughable not to agree. Lozano, Raspadori, and Kavicha Kvaratskhelia. Best front three in the world right now. The most dominant front three in the world right now. Probably the most goal scoring front three in the world right now. 6 past Ajax, 4 past Liverpool. I don't think there's much of a debate here.
Listen, I need to see them.
Liverpool flop pool this season. Let's just
Need,
put that out
I
there.
need Napoli to show me, get into the knockout round of the Champions League and show me a run.
Just you wait.
I want them to. Ben, who do you
Just you
think?
wait.
He's
I
he's
think they could make a
I need
semi-final
Hussein's Premier League one.
appearance.
yeah, same
My
thing.
Premier. Let's go to yours because I need to think about my Premier League one.
Listen, yeah, when it comes to pure goal scoring ability, okay, thank you, Hussein. When it comes to
Right.
pure goal scoring ability, and who I think could be great this season, like you said, Josh. I'm not talking about City because, like you said, City have so much depth; they're always changing. I'm gonna say Heung-min Son, Harry
Mm.
Kane, and Richarlison up front. That has so much potential to be great. Son is the most disrespected player in current football right now. He is so disrespected. He is so good. It's unbelievable. Did you see what he did? Was it against Leicester? What he did?
Yeah. When he came off the bench,
Did
he
you see
scored
what he did against
yeah,
Leicester? Hat-trick in 30 minutes
yeah.
or something like that. It was insane. I was watching the match. I actually couldn't believe what I was watching. Like he just tore open. He came on and he changed the whole game. Like that is what a player can like Son can do for you. He can change the whole game. Harry Kane, one of the best strikers in the world on his day,
Mm.
one of the best strikers in the
Mm-hmm.
world. And I think I think he has potential to be really, really good in the Premier League.
Yep.
I just think it's so like it's there for the taking. It's just like their midfield is just not great right now.
And
And
think about them.
if they pumped money into the midfield, like just imagine, right? Just imagine Bruno Fernandes in a Tottenham shirt in that team,
I don't want
or
to, but
like a De Bruyne in that team.
oh yeah.
Can you imagine what Harry Kane and Heung-min Son would do to teams? Can
It's
you
true.
imagine?
No, it's true. It's true. Højbjerg has stepped up this year. He's been having a good season, but he's not a 10. He's not someone who's going to start attacks. But you know, Harry Kane's got 8 goals in 9 games. People
Yeah,
are it's because of Haaland. Haaland has ruined everything. Kane is
yeah.
having a really good season.
How many penalties has he scored though?
I don't think that many. Why?
I'm checking. Hold on.
Kane
His last
MPGs.
goal was not a penalty. Yeah, check the MPGs.
Let's have a look. Harry
Okay.
Kane.
It looks like he's got 8 goals in 9 games. Oh, it doesn't say if it's a penalty or not. Shot types. I don't know, you know.
I think he has. I think he has 2.
Yeah,
I know he has to.
I think that's it
So
though. It's still though. It
scored
doesn't.
one against Arsenal when they lost.
That's.
Um,
It doesn't. It's still 8 goals in 9 games. If Haaland didn't exist, if Roy Keane instead of breaking his dad's leg, he broke his nether regions, right? We'd be saying, "Wow, look at Kane. He really is the best in the world again." But Haaland, with almost double the amount of goals Kane has, it's
It's a
not
shame,
fair.
man. Kane is like not gonna reach that level until he has someone behind him, like that can support that front three. For me, like Haaland is clear right now, obviously, but like Kane, I feel like Kane needs that support behind it because Kane can assist, man. Kane's like he's more well-rounded than Haaland, I think. As like a player, he's more well-rounded. But
100%. Yeah.
if we're talking about
what's
like
the point of a
goal,
striker though?
but no,
Score
I'm
goals.
just saying
Who
like,
does it better?
oh my god, I'm just talking about as a if like we had, let's say like hypothetically, if you give Kane and Son the same midfield that Haaland and Foden have, I think Kane could possibly be doing better than Haaland.
If Haaland plays up front for Spurs, does he score the same amount of goals Harry Kane does? I don't
If
think so.
Haaland plays up
No.
front for Newcastle, does he score that many goals?
I don't think so. Because
If
Spurs.
Callum Wilson played for Man City right now, he would have 10 goals
No,
minimum.
But to counter, he's done it for Leipzig. He's done it for Dortmund. Now he's doing it for Man City. This is not a new thing that he's come to Man City and broken through.
no,
He's
it's
done it.
not.
He's been
not.
and he's
That's
done it
fair
for
enough.
Norway
Yeah,
too.
He is good.
Yeah. But we had like let's assess details. Done it for
Guys, sorry, timestamp. Sorry, we're gonna have to. My food's gonna be here in like 3 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not cutting this out, by the way. I'm.
yeah.
Okay, but I need to leave in 3 minutes.
Fine.
You don't
Okay.
need to leave.
Okay.
Get your food and
We're
put it
going.
down.
We're gonna do the quick fire questions anyway for
Okay.
Ben. Okay, and then
Mhm.
you just if it comes early, just say 1 minute, Mama. Did I? Where is it? It's not even here. Wait, hold on.
I know you didn't even write them down.
Did I just not say them? When's the last time we did it?
Oh, my front
Oh,
three,
here,
by
I've got
the
it. I've
way,
got it. I've got. Okay, what's your front three? Quickly.
Arsenal. Anyway, moving on.
I knew it. I knew it. He's gonna say Arsenal. This guy, honestly, oh, I like United.
Absolutely.
He's
You
under
can't
his shirt.
not back your previous point of the fact that Arsenal are going to do amazing this year. You have to back that.
They say lift your shirt and show us
Oh.
your Arsenal shirt right now. Actually, don't lift your shirt. I'm just kidding.
Don't listen.
Do you want me to lift my
No,
shirt?
no,
I'll
I
do
don't.
it right now.
No, I
I'm just
don't.
letting you know I have a McDonald's on the way, and that's like there's a
Oh,
pattern
he's
here.
leaving to eat McDonald's. Okay, okay. Arsenal,
Please.
fair enough. You know, one of the best front twos right now. But when we speak in a month, it's going to be different. Anyway, Ben, quick fire questions. Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Is this trivia or is it
No, no,
opinion
it's
based?
just something or something. So it needs to be quick. All right.
Oh, okay.
You ready?
Okay. No, I don't like
Three,
this.
3, 2, 1. Favorite player right now.
Bruno Guimaraes,
Favorite player of all time.
Alan Shearer.
Favorite goal of all time.
Uh, uh, Alan Shearer versus Everton.
Who's winning the league this season?
Man City
Player you'd realistically want the most.
to sign for Newcastle.
Realistic.
Tomori.
Realistic.
All right, Messi or Ronaldo?
When you said Messi, when you said like realistic, I was thinking price range wise.
Okay. AC Milan or Man United?
Man United
Okay, okay.
to win a game, or who do I prefer?
Fair.
Do you prefer?
Man United.
Favorite game of all time?
FIFA.
No, no, I'm not talking about video games. I mean,
What's favorite football?
Ooh, it's a good one. Newcastle versus Manchester United last season, 1-1 draw.
Really?
1-1
Really?
draw.
I thought you'd say the 4-4 against Arsenal from 10 years ago.
I never watched it.
That's true.
Like I never properly watched it.
That's true. That's true. All right. Would you rather win the Premier League or the Champions League?
Premier League.
All right. Would you rather this season get top 4 or win the FA Cup?
Top 4, no doubt.
Fair
Top
enough.
4.
That's all the questions.
Yeah.
Okay,
Top
and that
4
has
is
been the
good one.
podcast, guys.
Wait,
I have to
wait,
go get my
wait,
food.
wait, wait.
I
No.
have to go get my food. If he rings the bell
Okay.
and wakes up my family, I'm gonna die.
Okay. Well, why are you ordering McDonald's at 1 a.m.? I say quickly get it. I'm gonna outro it slowly. Okay.
No, because it takes me like 10 minutes to go down and upstairs. I'm still on crutches.
All right. Well, Ben, thank you for being part of the podcast today. I can only apologize to you for the unprofessionalism
Sorry.
of my
It's okay.
podcast
Sorry,
co-host.
I have
I
to
have
go.
to deal
Hurry
with
up.
this
I have
awkward-
to
Okay,
go.
thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave questions on our Instagram. Thanks again, Ben. Thanks, Hussein. And see you guys next week.
Take
Okay.
care, guys.